Hey guys, it's Douglas G14B here with another Battleship 2.0 update. From what I went over on my last one, I was still working on Battleship on my own private map. I just connected Player 2, hadn't really done any of the busing between the Player 1 and Player 2 yet, but as you can see here, I'm no longer on grass, I'm now on stone. I moved my project to the Redstone Development Foundation's build server and have been slowly developing it here. I am actually sad to say that I am abandoning Battleship 2.0. It's just too large. Too large. It's actually large enough that if there are two players on each end, there's actually a small amount of blocks right here in the middle that do not get loaded, that the redstone isn't active on, meaning that the game doesn't work. It breaks, which really sucks. But good news is, even though I'm abandoning 2.0, I'm still using some of my devices. For instance, my screen layout, my switcher, my decoder. Well, maybe not my decoder anymore. I've changed it up a little bit. But there we go. Let me get out of there. Alright. So, work on Battleship 3.0 has started. I'll kind of go over what we've done so far. Let's go over here, wait for these chunks to load. The server's kind of busy right now, so it's a little slow. Seems the Redstone Development Foundation has been getting kind of famous lately. We've been getting a few views from people from Dungeon Runner, made by Shrog. Pretty awesome, by the way. You should try it out. Google it or YouTube it, whatever. I'm sure you'll find it. This right here is that decoder, just smaller and faster. As you can see, this one used very slow redstone vertical repeaters, since it's just redstone ladders. That went up, adding a huge amount of delay to the whole entire thing. So instead on this one, we came up with this system right here to repeat the redstone signal up without causing too much delay and without having to make long stairways like this. Even though the stairways would create less delay, we are also concerned about block updates. So when you have long stairs like this, as it goes up these whole entire stairways right here, it has to update all these blocks that you see here. The server has to, which causes extra load on the server and on the client. But here, it only has to load these blocks, which is significantly fewer, thus causing less load on the server, less load on the client, ultimately resulting in a faster machine, because if the server has lots of load, your delays are going to be extended. Alright, now, the next thing that we've done, this is taking 20 wires, your two 20 wire inputs, your X and your Y coordinates, and converting them into a single, pretty much a single spot on a grid, on a 10 by 10 grid. Now, one thing I wanted to do was be able to take that 10 by 10 grid and put it back down to a 20 by 20 wire. So I developed this encoder. This encodes 100 wires coming in the back right there. Ignore the one to the right. That was a different design. It's smaller but slower. I wanted this one to be fast, so I was willing to sacrifice the few block updates. It takes 100 wires that come in the back right here, as you can see all down the bottom, and then outputs my X coordinates on the bottom and my Y coordinates on the top. It's detailed. Actually, I'll go over the details. I'll probably go over the details on these devices in another video to describe them to any viewers that don't quite understand how to make them or what they really do. I'll save that for another time. Alright, now, as you can tell from Battleship 2.0, my biggest problem were the bus lines. they're huge and they take forever to make. Like, for instance, Sneaky Retina, this part right here, curving down, took us almost 3 hours of building. It was crazy. It was horrible. And sadly, we couldn't really copy paste it because of the design of it. But so we opted that we're going to reduce the bus sizes by encoding them. As you can see here, you can encode it down to a 20 wire line or just two 10 wire lines. Well, I was thinking, why not make it smaller? So you can take those two 10 wire lines, the inputs right here, and you can encode them into binary, which actually you come out with a single 8-bit line, or two 4-bit lines, whichever one. You can just combine the two and split them off later. But this allows you to take these huge bus lines that you see in the distance over there and just shrink them down to something that's actually that's reasonable, usable, and practical even. So that's actually what we're going to be doing. But as a result from this, I'm going to have to redesign my game engine. I am not sure if I can design a game engine that'll work with binary data. I might not be able to have this small of a bus line. I might actually have to use this large of a bus line, the 20 wire bus line, but that's definitely preferable to this one. Yeah, a lot more preferable. We also managed to make the game engine significantly smaller. I'll go over here and show you. This right here in front of me was the original game engine. Input on the bottom right here, input on the back right here, and outputs right here. This right here is the improved one. It actually has fewer ticks, and it's a lot smaller. Tons smaller, even. We opted not to use any pistons on the original design because you couldn't world edit them, because they would they'd all screw up, really, if you world edited them. So instead, we built these huge devices without pistons. But now that you can world edit them, so I can stack them over and over again to create something like this, we just stack them side by side, we developed the small one, which actually works just as well, which is awesome. Hold on, I'm going to have to, there we go. On inputs off, there we go. Now the flash. Except it's going to flash really, really slow because the server's under a lot of load. But this device, and then when the top input's on, it flashes. I guess I can detail over the game engine when I start detailing over the rest of this stuff. But, well, this is Battleship 2.0. Update 3 is going to be the last Battleship 2.0 update that you're going to get. The next update is going to be more on the development of Battleship 3.0 and kind of the devices that are going to go into it. So, I hope you enjoyed.